Welcome to Nordic Market News, Friday, February the 3rd. We summarize the past week's most market-affecting news every Friday. Today's program will be dominated by the reports presented during the week. Looking at each country's stock market index, the steady stream of quarterly reports has meant struggle for most Nordic markets. Helsinki 25 minus 1.6% or trading around zero today. OMX is 30, 1.2 this week or 0.3 today. OSCBX minus 1.3 this week or 0.7 today. Copenhagen 20 minus 0.6 this week or 0.4 today. Nordic 40 0.2 this week or 0.1 today. In Denmark, Danske Bank reported a far better fourth quarter of 2016 than expected. Pre-tax result came in at 7 billion Danish kroner. Expected from SME Direkt was 5.9 billion Danish kroner. The net interest rate was 5.8 billion compared to expected 5.5. For the future, Danske Bank estimates a net result for 2017 of between 17 to 19 billion Danish kroner. Danske Bank expects the net interest rate to be higher than 2016, and the company stock is up on the news with about 1% today, Friday. Novo Nordisk reports an operating result of 11.2 billion Danish kroner for the fourth quarter of yesteryear. This is just below SME Direct's estimate of 11.3 billion. Net turnover was 29.5 billion Danish kroner compared to expected 29.4. And for 2017, Novo Nordisk estimates a decreased EBIT and sales growth. The long-term prognosis for EBIT growth has been set to an average of 5% from previous 10%. Novo's income from their diabetes drug came in at expected levels, and the company's stock is slightly up on the report. In Finland, UPM, Kymmene, Nokian, Renkaat, Fortum, Kesko, Outokumpu and Metsä are some of the Finnish large-cap reports presented during the past week. Most reports have been solid and has beaten the market expectations. Breaking the positive trend is Fortum, with a reported pre-tax result of 184 million euro for the fourth quarter. Expected for the market, according to SME Direkt, was a pre-tax result of 246 million euro. A decreased electricity price has affected Fortum negatively, and also the production in Fortum's water plants decreased during the quarter. In the report, the Finnish CEO, Pekka Lundmark, surprises the market with his comment about wind power being the most profitable one for Fortum right now. If a company were to build a new source of power in the Nordic region, wind power would be the cheapest alternative, Lundmark said. In Sweden, SEB, Swedbank, Volvo, Electrolux, Sandvik, Lundin Petroleum, MTG, Alfa Laval, Nordnet, H&M, Investor, Fingerprint Cards, Billerud Korsnäs, Assa Abloy, AstraZeneca. These and more have all reported their Q4 of yesteryear during the past week. On the winning side, we find Swedbank, Volvo, and media broadcasting group MTG. While Fingerprint and Assa Abloy fell short, Swedbank beat the pre-market expectations and significantly raised the dividend to the shareholders. From 10.7 Swedish kronor per share in 2016 to today's suggested 13.2 Swedish kronor per share. Meanwhile, Swedbank CEO Birgitte Bonnesen commented on the overheated housing market in Sweden, calling on the politicians to agree on some long-term measures to stabilize the lack of supply on the market. Fingerprint came in below market expectations with their fourth quarter of yesteryear. The company did issue a profit warning in early December. The same reasons behind the profit warning is repeated in the quarterly report. Increased cost and competition is some of the factors affecting Fingerprint. However, for the first time in the company history, the board introduces a dividend to the share owners. Suggestion is 2 Swedish kronor per share and a new dividend policy has been implemented. Fingerprint should hand out 30% of the profit to the shareholders, says the new policy. Fingerprint fell hard on the report but has since recovered some on the Stockholm Stock Exchange. Finally, in Norway, shipping giant Stolt-Nielsen reported the fourth quarter in line or slightly below pre-market expectations. Turnover for Stolt-Nielsen was $463 million compared to expected 471. Operating result was $52.1 million compared to expected 52.7. This was reported on Tuesday during this week, and in the report the company says it's evaluating a potential sale of non-strategical parts. If a port does not fit into our investment strategy, we will consider to sell it, says CEO Nils G. Stolt-Nielsen in this report. Furthermore, the company estimates stable volumes for 2017 and hopes trade agreements will be made quickly by the US with important markets around the world. And Telenor did not meet the market expectations in their fourth quarter. The pre-tax result was 3.8 billion Norwegian kroner compared to SME Direkt consensus of 6.3. EBITDA was 10.46 billion compared to expected 11.3. The telecom giant estimates an organic sales growth of 1 to 2% for 2017. The same growth was 1.1% during 2016. The investors aren't too happy about the result, and the company's stock dropped 2% yesterday, Thursday, but has since recovered some. That was the headlines for today's program. We will be back again next week with more Nordic news. Thank you for watching.